Yo, just internets, what's going on with y'all? This week I decided to review an oldie but a goodie that I actually remember called Inkheart. I remember snatches of this book, but it's been many years since I've decided to read it, so who knows how it's going to hold up. All the same, beware because spoilers be lurking ahead. So our book starts off by introducing us to a 12-year-old named Maggie and her father Mo, who share a strong love of books. What? Honestly, this isn't all that shocking. My parents and I read the Harry Potter novels as they were released and constantly discussed and argued different points. Families can like books together. Anyhow, one day a strange man named Dustfinger shows up, which honestly just brings to mind a hitchhiker you definitely used to have sell you crack. Anyway, he warns Mo that a man named Capricorn is looking for him, and he wants Mo to provide some kind of service the following morning, so they retreat to his sister-in-law, Eleanor's place, and she has a huge fucking library. Now, as much as I just argue that families can love books together, and they can, this does create a slight feeling of, there are only books in the world, there should be no non-book lovers here. Anyhow, in the middle of the night, a bunch of Capricorn's henchmen show up and decide to half-kidnap, technically he goes with them voluntarily, he doesn't really want to go, but he does. It's weird. Anyway, they kidnap Mo, and Maggie decides to do a Spy Kids and save her dad, while everyone else throws up a fuck no, and Dustfinger is revealed to be a traitor, surprise surprise, who ends up handing Maggie and her aunt over to Capricorn. Afterwards, it's revealed why Maggie's father was so important. It's because Mo can read aloud so well he can read characters out of their own books and into our world, even if he can't control it particularly well. In fact, he read both Dustfinger and Capricorn out of a book called Inkheart, and I get it, but I've never liked the idea of a book being named for a book in the story. It just gets really confusing, because then if people mention the name of it, you don't know if they're talking about the book or about the book in the book. Anyway, after being forced to read some gold out of a book for Capricorn, they're jailed for the night and manage to escape with the help of Dustfinger, who gets pissy when he realizes that Capricorn tricked him. Honestly, Capricorn is a cartoonishly evil villain, but considering the target audience, it works well enough. Anyhow, they manage to escape to a nearby town and meet Fenolio, the author who wrote the book. And in a scene I understand completely, he asks to see Dustfinger so he can see if he looked just like he imagined he would. As I say, I totally get this. I love that it's in the story because I would 100% do the same thing if one of my characters had been read into the real world. So eventually, Maggie and Fenolio are recaptured by Capricorn's men, because of course they are, and the author reveals that Maggie's father had cooked up something of a plan to deal with Capricorn and his men, which is interesting. I get that it's likely the author in me, but I truly love the attitude this book gives stories and the written word. The importance the story has, the word choice, and the vision of the author are all given special attention, and I think that's pretty damn cool. Let's face it, we've all seen a movie adaptation of our favorite characters and been frustrated at the changes or inaccuracies. How cool would it be to have a true one-to-one occurrence? Anyway, eventually it is revealed that Maggie inherited her father's ability to read aloud. Gotta be really frustrating for those who take classes and study the art of vocal manipulation that you can just be born with it. But, hey, children's books, so bend the rules and all that. Fenolio reveals that her father's plan was to rewrite a section of the book and sort of focus the reading aloud power and make happen what they wanted to, which isn't a half-bad solution, and it works relatively well with the themes and rules such as they've been established for us. An author's book is read aloud, that author can write something to fix it, so on and so forth. Anyhow, after a few failed rescue attempts, Maggie is forced to read an executioner into the world for Capricorn, but the author rewrites the creature so that it will kill him instead, which has got to be a pretty nasty punch to the gut. But also, Capricorn is totally evil and an unredeemable villain, so okay. Anyhow, the book comes to a close with a vague, happy ending, mostly, which is something that makes it a bit more galling considering there are actually 3 parts in this series, and the first one mostly stands up on its own. Okay, so not everything got wrapped up, but the big lines were all tied up into a decent enough bow. But someone had to get a bit greedy and double dip, didn't we, Muzifunke? Still, that will do it for this time. My personal score is 6 out of 10. It's pretty good and has a few interesting ideas that make it a cut above the competition, but there are a few story and writing choices that could have just used some polish and make it really sparkle like it should have. Damn shame. All the same, let's go ahead and take a look at that bingo card. We came, we saw, and just like the Cardinals, we struck the fuck out. But only once, so I should at least be getting professional grade pay for this shit by my math. Anyhow, that's all for this time, so if you have something else you want me to review, go ahead and leave a comment down below, let me know. If you want to see what we get into next time, go ahead and subscribe. Until then, drink plenty of water, tell your parents that you love them, and stroke your mustache at night.